They are in fact abstract things. So when they take a form, that is embodiment. So here, any virtue for that matter, any power for that matter, any point of knowledge, any blessing, any version, any godly version, when we inculcate that fully into ourselves, we become the embodiment of that. So that is one word. Another word Baba usually uses is image. That is also very much similar to that. To become a very image of that means just to be like that, a facsimile of that. We emulate that person so much that we start looking like that person. Emulate. Emulate means it is not just imitate, but emulate means to imitate and try to become exactly like that person is. That is emulation. And that word is very much related to becoming an image. So one is image, second is embodiment. So now next. To listen to knowledge and to relate it is easy. However, to become an embodiment of knowledge, when you put knowledge into practice, your every action will automatically be knowledgeful. That is, every action will be filled with light and might of knowledge. Knowledge is said to be light and might. In the same way, the yogi form is a yogyukta and yukti-yukta form. An embodiment of dharana means that your every action, every physical organ and every virtue will be an embodiment of dharana. An experienced image of service means a constant and natural server. Whether it is through your thoughts, words, deeds, connections or relations, service should continue to happen naturally through your every action. This is called being an embodiment of experience in all four subjects. So in this university we have four subjects, and we have to become embodiment of all the four subjects. The very first subject is knowledge. To become the embodiment of knowledge, to become embodiment of yoga, to become embodiment of dharana, and to become embodiment of service. Now we'll come to the first point, to become embodiment of knowledge. When you put knowledge into practice, your every action will automatically be knowledgeful. That is, your every action will be filled with the light and might of knowledge. As usually it is said, first is information and another is knowledge, another is wisdom. To gather information usually causes a lot of restlessness. Simple information. Knowledge is something higher than information, and wisdom is even higher than knowledge. Experience, understanding. Baba has used many times knowledge means understanding, samajh. That's why often in Murlis we find, have you understood? Samjha. These words often come in Murli. So, to become embodiment of knowledge, what we have to do? What we can do in order to become embodiment of knowledge? Yeah? Remembrance is a separate subject, that is a second subject. How to do that? See, we know almost all the Srimads. We know almost everything about knowledge. And we keep on listening to Murli on so many times. We keep on reading Murli time and again. But to become embodiment means knowledge should come into practice. The knowledge should get translated into practice. What should we do for that? Revise knowledge, of course. First of all, we have to deepen our understanding of knowledge. The way we have understood, probably it is that knowledge is just staying at one place. It is not coming down. It is not coming into practice. It is an isolated compartment which has nothing to do with reality of life. Whatever is my lifestyle, whatever is our department, whatever is the service we do, how much we are applying that knowledge, how much we are applying in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions, in our connections, in our relationships. The practical application of that knowledge, unless and until this is done, we can never become embodiment of knowledge. So again the question, we come back to the same question, how to make this knowledge practical? Revising this knowledge, first of all, as brother also said, keep on revising the knowledge, because we tend to forget this knowledge. The moment we come into actions, we are just swayed away. We just forget this knowledge. So as Baba has said, this knowledge, this awareness is just like sun. Sunset should never occur. The sun should keep on shining overhead, always. So the first thing is revising this knowledge again and again. Merely to go and listen Murli is always. This should not be the thing. What is our approach towards Murli? When we talk of knowledge, it means Murli. Unless and until we churn that Murli, unless and until we take out some important points from that, think about it deeply, and how I can apply this in my life, in my daily routine. Unless and until we contemplate on this, that knowledge will never get translated into practice. So one is the reading, revising, churning of knowledge. Then keeping attention, checking and attention. Baba has used these two words quite often, checking and attention, checking and attention. But checking oneself is a very difficult task sometimes. We can check others, we can tell others that this is wrong, you should not have spoken this is incorrect. But to check ourselves, this is a tough job, uphill task. For that, we will have to form a questionnaire. We will have to form some questions and then tally with those questions. Have I done this? Have I done this? Have I done this? Have I become a victim today? We have a tendency to victimize ourselves. Somehow or other, we victimize ourselves unknowingly. We become victim of people, we become victim of circumstances. Because somebody has not spoken well, because somebody has not behaved well, we feel bad. That is also a sort of victimization. Shikar. Self-victimization. Have I become that? If I have become self-victimized, I was talking about different self-destructive habits the other day in this another class. Self-destructive habits. One of the self-destructive habits is self-victimization, self-pity, self-harm, self-torture. One is to harm others, another is to harm ourselves, to harm to our internal state. Our stage of mind, our state is so valuable, but unknowingly, unwittingly, we harm it by certain thoughts. We bring those thoughts and we harm ourselves. Our stage goes down. That is an instance of self-victimization. So if I have done that, it means I am not applying knowledge to myself. It could be anything related to food, it could be anything related to our habits, any tendency, any pattern which we have formed. We have formed a certain pattern in our mind. We are all undergoing a process of change. Another is more expectation. That is also, we harm ourselves. We have a lot of expectations from others. Just imagine we are traveling in a train. Okay? We have been given upper berth. And it's our habit to get up at 3:30 for Amrit Vela. We get up at 3:30 and we find others are sleeping. Why are they sleeping? We are angry. Why they should sleep? And if one of them is Brahmin, we are all the more angry. We want that if we wake up, everybody should wake up. Why you expect others to wake up? Everyone's time of waking up is different. They will wake up when they will wake up. We can't force others to wake up. You have woken up to particular realization of something. You have understood one point of knowledge in a particular way. That is your waking up. But they have yet not received that call. You have understood churning is very important. You have understood listening to classes, writing notes is very important. They have not understood it. You have understood self-victimization is a self-destructive habit. So you never become self-victimized. But in front of your eyes, under your nose, somebody is victimizing himself or herself. You feel bad. So when we wake up, always understand that it's not necessary that others will wake up. And if I expect that they should also wake up, I make myself sorrowful. They will wake up, but their time is different. Just as we talk in terms of knowledge. He is in knowledge, he is not in knowledge. So we try to make others come into this knowledge. That's okay. But I am now here talking about sanskars. We have changed our sanskar. That other person is also trying to change his sanskar. But he will take his own time. I might have changed very fast, but not necessary that he will do the same. Whether it is a diet, whether it is some habit, whether it is speech, whether it is internal tendency, some propensity, whatever it could be. So, I have to see that how much I apply this knowledge. Baba is saying light, knowledge is light and might. Light means light, radiance. And whenever there is a light, darkness cannot stay there. We were talking yesterday also. These two things, these two cannot stay together. So knowledge is light. If there is a darkness in any nook and corner of our heart or mind, we need to work on knowledge. Why this is happening still? If a ray of sorrow, wave of sorrow is arising still in our heart, reason may be anything. It means we are in darkness. Reason may be anything. If at any point of time, even 1% sorrow we are experiencing, even 1% sorrow, 1% happiness, 1% misery, agony, pain, suffering, that means there is a darkness. That means I have not brought this knowledge into practice. So work on knowledge. One is knowledge. Second is Yogyukta Yukti Yukta form. Just one word Baba has said. Yogi form is Yogyukta and Yukti Yukta. You should be tactful. Yukti Yukta. You should have a lot of yuktis with you. How to remain Yogyukta in different conditions, in different circumstances. You are waiting for somebody, somebody is not coming. You are waiting for driver to come. Vehicle is standing, but driver is missing. How to remain Yogyukta there. Some work you wanted to do, it is not getting done. How to remain Yogyukta that time. So there are different situations, instances in our day-to-day activities where we have to remain Yogyukta. We are listening to some class and we are sitting in front and we are getting bored. Now what to do? How to remain Yogyukta there? How to tolerate? Anything it could be. Anything it could be. How to remain Yogyukta in each and every condition of life, situations. This is second thing. Third thing is about dharana. Means your every action, every physical organ and every virtue should be an embodiment of dharana. In dharana we have list of divine virtues. I think we should work on all those virtues about which we have never thought. Like discipline. How much we have worked on discipline? Probably not too much. Balance. How much we have worked on balance? Probably not much. Brother Ramesh was sharing once his experience with Brahma Baba. Once Ramesh Shahaji took Brahma Baba for eye checkup at the age of 93. And the doctor ophthalmologist said that his eyes are perfectly well. He doesn't even require specs, no refractive error, no cataract, nothing. At that age, what sort of balance must that man had in his life? That he remained physically healthy as well. I'm not talking about mental, spiritual, emotional, social health. I'm talking about physical health. What sort of attention, what sort of balance, what meticulous care he must have taken about himself. So, about his eyes for that matter. So that is dharana. Take any virtue, work on that. Take any virtue, work on that. And another is to read about it or listen about it or listen to a lot of classes. Sometimes even these things can cause confusion. It's better that we sit alone and churn. It's better that we sit alone rather than listening too many things that can baffle our intellect. That can confound us more and more. So if you want, it's better that we sit alone in solitude, take up one thing, write on it, think about it, and think how we can apply that. So that is third. Fourth is service. Means constant and natural service. Constant and natural service. In Sunday's Murli Baba had said, just as you are natural yogis, in the similar manner you are natural servers. You keep on flying. You come down only to take up all those who are down by giving them encouragement and enthusiasm. You remain detached like lotus. You have crown of responsibility, and this crown of responsibility doesn't make you heavy. It rather finishes all the burden, but then you have to consider it. Who has given me this crown of responsibility? Self-talk. The best is to talk with oneself. Self-talk. How much we are doing self-talk? If you see your daily routine, you will find that the time for self-talk is becoming less and less. And we are more and more getting extrovert and engaged in service and all sorts of things. How much time we have for silence, for solitude, for self-talk? Self-talk, talk with Baba, and third is churning of knowledge. These three things. They should occupy a measurable amount of our time. We have to be alone for some time. We have to retreat into silence. We have to go into solitude, because spirituality is not possible at all by any way, by any means, without silence and without solitude. Gathering has its own importance, but the groundwork, the internal work has to be done in solitude. Without solitude, you cannot progress in spiritual life. A deep solitude, a deep silence, an internal touch, an internal talk. That silence takes you inside. That silence shuts off the ego, switches off that ego. And when you are away from that ego of body consciousness, you are in touch with your own self. So let us keep this ego aside for some time, and which happens so naturally during the periods of silence, the stillness of the heart. So, natural server means that service through words, through thoughts, through deeds, connections, relations. It should happen naturally. It is not that I am doing service now, this is the point of doing service, this is the end. Not like that. No end and no beginning. We are always serving. In the similar manner, knowledge. No end, no beginning. Now knowledge finished, now this. No. Knowledge should always be there. Meditation should always be there. Our whole life should be as if a continuous meditation. There is no question of morning meditation, evening. Of course, these have their own importance. But life itself should become The whole day itself should become a non-stop meditation, a ceaseless meditation, uninterrupted meditation. Such meditative state of the mind is known as Yogyukta state. Such state of the mind is known as constant server. Such state of the mind is known as to become embodiment of knowledge, embodiment of dharana, embodiment of service. That is what we have to do. So where we are lacking? What are the problems I face during service? Why my stage goes down? Why? What are the reasons? Find out. And no one else can do this work for you. You alone can do this. No one can lift you up. You have fallen into the well. You have to get up. Others may help you, but groundwork, grassroots work, you have to do. So this is today's homework. And any point from yesterday's Murli? Any important point? Yesterday's Sakar Murli? Yeah. Shraddhavan? Any point? You have to read every day's Murli and at least keep in your mind 1 or 2 points. Yeah. This is physical Shivalaya and Brahma Baba is living Shivalaya. He is living Shivalaya. Satyug is, golden age is physical Shivalaya. And that is unlimited Shivalaya. Unlimited Shivalaya, physical Shivalaya, living Shivalaya. 3 things. Then, news of death. You are on the gallows. You are on the gallows. The news of death. Death is just around the corner. It is just ahead, in front of you. Then, every moment I am going to, any time I can die. This becomes a practice. We never know what time we are going to die. This body is here now and gone tomorrow. Gone next moment. Who can say? So, keeping that thing. Then, make preparations. What preparation I have made? This is the self questionnaire. Am I prepared? If I am prepared, then what is the use of these medications? Something he was talking about medications. Yeah, all these medications. Then, yeah, omens of Rahu. Yeah. Then, orders, powers will follow them. They don't even, you just order and they will come. You just order. I want the power of tolerance. Power of tolerance. I want the power to accommodate. I want the power to withdraw. That power to come. Power will come. I want the power to discriminate. See, this power is so important. To discriminate, we have to discriminate and take decisions in life. People cannot decide about themselves. They come and tell, what should I do? Should I continue the job or should I give up the job? Why? This power is facing. Should I stay here or should I go out somewhere? Should I stay in center or should I go somewhere? How should I do? Why can't you decide for yourself? This power to discriminate and power to decide is missing somewhere. So let's get seated on the seat of self-respect and all the powers will come on their own. That's it. Om Shanti. So read today's Murli again properly so that we can discuss tomorrow. Or if some brother or sister from abroad is coming tomorrow for sharing experience, it's okay.